Alright, this was an interesting qualifier round. We got new events, new teams, and new reasons to curl up into a ball and cry in the corner of a cold shower. If these 4 events were a taste of the main tournament, then I cannot wait for what the full 16 events will hold. However, with only half these teams moving on, we need to take a look at the 12 teams who didn't make it. 2 points again, JJs? 2 points again? Last year you actually had a case going in your favor as to why you missed out. The consolation points not beating the tiebreaker bothered me, and it bothered your fans because you didn't have any control over a track defect. What's your excuse this year? Leap even redeemed himself in the finals, and you still couldn't make it? Maybe actually compete in the other 3 events and you'll have something going. You just jungle jumped yourselves into another showdown. Keep up the good work and you'll end up on this channel again. I'll save you a seat. Well, it looks like the clock struck midnight. Back in 2020, everyone was too busy watching the O-Rangers choke away their lead to notice that you had slipped off the podium and had a perennial B-League gum commercial steal your spot during the final event. I'm sure no consequences would come from not auto-qualifying, right? I mean, 4th is almost 3rd, right? Surely you won't blow your perfect attendance, right? Didn't expect you on here, but I'm not complaining. I haven't had fresh meat in a while. The 2018 champion has been dethroned and tossed into the waste bin that is a showdown status. Color me surprised, but this has been a long time coming. You haven't really done much since that title year, and it feels like missing out on the main tournament was only a matter of time. I won't say, oh how the mighty have fallen, but you did fall. See you in about 60 midnights. I told you this team had bigger problems than just Mary last year. She actually did well in the funnels this time around. The rest of your showings looked lethargic, including a nice goose egg in the relays. Always the damn relay with you. I've alluded to this, but now I have to say it. Someone on that team or in that staff needs to get fired. I don't know what kind of moves you need to make, all I know is that you need to be the ones to make them. And soon, because if you don't fix your organization up by the end of summer, this could be next year too. And for what it's worth, Mellow Yellow, I predicted a comeback for Mary, so if anything, she proved me right. Of course you're here, Snowballs. Of course you're here. After bumbling your way through the winter special and last year's showdown, I knew nothing exciting would come from you. I know people are waiting for me to make a roast video about you. Don't worry, we'll get there eventually. At this rate, if I wait too long, the script for that will be as thick as a Gutenberg Bible. You scored 15 points total. Fitting, as that's 1 point for each year it'll take before you become watchable again. Maybe with the rising global temperatures you can just join the Oceanics. Still chaotic, getting just 9 points out of 2 events. You are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the ones led by Jameis Winston throwing 30 passes to the wrong team. You've been here before, but now it feels like you might stay here. To add more salt to it, someone gave you a 73% chance of qualifying. You do realize you're supposed to stop just before the red zone and the wave, right? Maybe they just mistook it for a safety marble lane and went full steam ahead. I've just stopped expecting things from this team. They'll put together some great performances and really put some fight behind them, and then just do this. So this is how your perfect attendance ends. Not with a bang, not even with a whimper. More like a slow deflation since event 1 of 2019. I thought it was only up from there, but you found a way to outdo yourselves this time. You really just... what's the phrase? That's the one. Oh please, bottom out, we don't mind. It's not like your fans had any expectations for you or anything. They know this feeling all too well, but it feels different this time. Instead of going to the basement, you went to the basement's basement. I knew in my gut I shouldn't have ripped that Legacy of Failure title off of you after your performance in the winter special, but I was feeling optimistic. You repaid me handsomely in the form of 9 points in 4 events. Egg on my face, yes, but I'm not the one who took 20th place out of the field, now am I? Excuse me for 1 second. Why? Why? I was done talking about your legacy of failure, Pinkies. This is the point when you stop failing. That's how this works. I'm done. I'm done with your franchise. Is this really the path you want to go down? You've turned yourselves into a pink turtle sliders with how you've performed. The Pinkies get to be good exactly once. You nabbed a silver and gold back-to-back in 2019 and that was it. You managed to get first in the Sand Rally and the Quals, but the damage was already done. Now you get to suffer again through the showdown. Maybe you were the imposter and were a B-League team this whole time. I think I'm gonna need another drinky. Possibly an ibuprofen. Forget about a montage, I can make a feature-length documentary about how hard you've been failing. But I don't want to do that to me. That 8-minute piece was enough. Oh, you thought you were done with your basement state, didn't ya? You thought that just because you won the showdown you could just waltz right into the main tournament, huh? Talk about photo finishes all you want, what about 11th place in the funnels, huh? If the Kobalts got robbed, they robbed themselves. Even the whole Discord rants about how you would have qualified still put you at astronomically slim margins. This team is who we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were!
And nothing else. At least they can try to repeat titles in the showdown. 2020. Bumblebees qualify. Rojo Rollers don't. 2021. Rojo Rollers qualify. Bumblebees don't. Make it make sense. Typically it's both in the basement, but if y'all are gonna trade off, then I'm all for it. Remember what I said about taking on the Hornets? Didn't go too well, did it? Oh well, at least I can root for you again. I root for the O-Rangers in the main league and the Bumblebees in the showdown. That's how it goes, that's my system. I didn't root for you last year in the main tournament, and I saved myself from that pain, and instead embraced the pain of 28-3. I'm still not over that. I won't go as far as to say that you belong in an eternal showdown status. I just feel like this is your territory, you know? Turtle Sliders, you have now earned the title of the worst team in the history of marble sports. Think about that. And not just, oh, Lizard Man mean. I mean actually reflect on what this means for your franchise. You got bailed out for this. You actually had a chance to make it to the main tournament. You competed in the qualifiers for the first time since the Qing dynasty, and you do what with it? 20 whole points. You have now reached Detroit Lions levels of floundering. Whereas the Lions perfected suffering over the course of 6 decades, you've managed to do that in a 10th that time. I don't want this team to retire, I want them to get good. And however you feel is the right way to do it, do it.
Just do it!
Hi solar flares, bye solar flares. Alright, what do we get with the newbies? We get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing 26 straight games between their first 2 seasons. And we get the Cleveland Browns browning out to the Steelers 43-0 on their return to the league. The first year for new teams is hard. Unless you're the Green Ducks, then you just steamroll everyone with a quack attack. But I still have my hopes for you, Solar Flares. There's something I like about you. I'm not sure what, though. I can't exactly put my orange on it. Oh well, it'll come to me eventually. It has been 1,400 days since your last gold medal. In raw time, that makes this the longest active drought in the league. And still counting. And will be counting for a while. Just 1 silver to speak of last year, and only 2 the year before that. This includes 2 podium droughts of 12 events and 1 of 14 events, good enough for 9th worst in the league. With numbers like those, I'm only surprised you weren't here sooner. Back in 2020, I compared them to the Philadelphia Flyers, the Texas Rangers, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Phoenix Suns. If they went the Suns route, this would be a much different video. Nothing to see here though, just a mid-pack team collapsing and then relapsing. It's not like this was the easiest division or anything. So join the 11 others in the B League Team Galactic, make yourselves comfortable. There's a snack bar to your left, a water cooler to your right, and the anthems of the qualified teams playing on loop as you wait here until August. Oh, and haha. Ha. Ha 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 ha. Good luck, teams, and better luck to the teams that will actually compete for a meaningful title. Among them are some peculiar picks. The Gliding Glaciers made it, so that means they won't re-retire for at least another year. The Shining Swarm and the Limers made it, which... yay. And the Rojo Rollers qualified for the first time ever and will compete in the main tournament for the first time since 2016. Let's put some perspective on that. In the summer of 2016, Obama was still president. Brazil was setting up to host their Summer Olympics. The world was still reeling from the death of a gorilla named Harambe, and I had just graduated high school. This channel didn't even exist in 2016. So welcome to the future, Rollers. To these 12, we will see you in the showdown, where only 8 of you will leave. You now have the long wait until August, and possibly many more Augusts to come. Augusts. Augusts. You know what, while you're still here, let me just choose 4 random teams and say that they're my predictions for the bottom 4 in the showdown, why not?
And as you see before you, officially, the teams that have qualified for the 2021 Marvel League.